Okay, today we're going to talk about the meaning of marriage. My wife and I have been married for 27 years now. There has been some difficult times, but we've soldiered through. We've brought up three kids, our young adults, and our youngest has just left home under some strange circumstances, but so we're now empty nesters and can concentrate back on primarily ourselves. And being semi-retired, we've just bought a camper van and we're going to try a bit of travelling and see how we go. Once again, Giorgio's joined me. Hello, Giorgio. You want to say hello? Oh. So he will be joining us on our adventures. We're going to try some local destinations first and then see if we can get back to Sydney, which we went to almost a year ago now and had the best time of our lives. So that's our ultimate goal. But yeah, small trips first. Test out the camper, test out if we can hack it. I think my wife's very keen, so also as keen. So marriage. Biblical or Christian idea of marriage given to us by God through the Bible is the joining of man and woman to spend their lives together, have children, and fill the earth, as it were. There's a lot more said in the Bible about marriage, which these days a lot of people would probably cringe at, in that along the lines of the man's meant to be the head of the household, the woman's meant to be his helper, but it's not meant to be that the man completely controls the woman. It is meant to be, in my opinion, more of an equal relationship. And even though the Bible was written thousands of years ago, back when things were very different in how men and women acted in society, the Bible also says that God doesn't change, so I don't see any reason why things should be any different. So, how does that relate to people today, or more specifically to my marriage to my wife? Before we go too much further, I've got to say that I'm certainly not a perfect Christian, probably what's more described in the Bible as lukewarm. So don't take my opinions or life experience as exactly what God intends. I'll try and point out where the differences lie between what God instructs us through the Bible and what I practice in life. But it's no excuse for doing the best I can. Okay? So, first lesson, which kind of contradicts what I said previously about what God said in the Bible, is that in reality, especially in today's time, the wife kind of rules the house. That's not to say that as men, we're supposed to just sit back and not participate in decisions, and doesn't mean that as Christians, the man isn't supposed to, make the ultimate decisions. And this is very difficult, especially if both husband and wife are not Christian. So yeah, in reality, you've got to choose whether you're putting God first or trying to do the best you can in your current circumstances. But as an example, my wife has decided our last two houses, I didn't particularly want to move the last one, but we did have three kids and we were living in a 3-bedroom house. So we ended up buying a 4-bedroom house which now looks a little empty with just the two of us in it, but we will make do. I mean, we have a room where I'm recording this stuff, which is semi-permanently set up at the moment, and we have a study, and we have one big spare room at the moment. Anyway, I'm getting a little off topic. As I said before, we have had our struggles. It is difficult when you have young children, the pressure that you put under, looking after the children, trying to make your way in a career. I have predominantly been the breadwinner. My wife has worked probably half our marriage in different roles, but her primary role has been caregiver to our children, which she's really good at and done a great job. That said, there is a risk of putting all your eggs in one basket, so now that the kids have left, she does feel a little lost, shall we say, but we're working on that with our travels. So one thing I've learned is, like, when you have disagreements, they do say not to go to sleep on a disagreement, but that's near impossible to do all the time. But it's important not to use your wife's or husband's vulnerabilities against them. So obviously, in a long-term marriage, which I classify ours as, you learn a lot about the person you're married to and their vulnerabilities, and it is easy to slip into a habit of using those vulnerabilities against them, and it's not a good idea. It doesn't lead to a strong marriage. So that would be the first thing, is be as kind as you can to each other. Don't be each other's rock, for want of a better word. The other thing that we've learned is that we both have different ways of supporting each other, and that took especially me a while to understand. I was expecting support from my wife the way, or in a certain way, but she had different ways of doing it, and it's not that my way was better or her way was better. It's just that everyone has their own way of showing support, and it's important to work out, especially if you feel you're not getting the support you want, is it just that you're getting it in a different way that you might not be expecting. So that was a hard lesson for me to learn. Thankfully, we did stick with it. We are much better off now, having been together for so long. And looking back, I think my wife taught me how to love. I'm not sure I was very good at it before. I had somewhat traumatic childhood, so I didn't really allow myself to get close to people. But through my wife's support and love, it's kind of taught me what love really is, what it means. And I now say to her that there's more to love than just words. It has to be shown in action as well. So that's more between external people than ourselves. But yeah, I mean, you learn a lot from each other. It gives life a lot of meaning, and it's well worth it. So if you're just starting out in a marriage, then be prepared for some hard times, work through them, or do your best to work through them. When I said before that the man is the leader of the house, that doesn't mean in any way, shape or form that any abuse should be taking place. Not controlling, not stifling. A good marriage is you help each other to expand and find joy together. So be prepared for hard times. If you have been married for a little while or a long while and things are hard, try and work at it. So yeah, stick at it. Be each other's rock. Be there for each other. And it's well worth it. Very much. I don't think even having kids, they eventually go off and have their own lives and hopefully stay in touch. But you're back to primarily being the two of you. And it can be great. Anyway, thank you for listening. And like, comment and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye.